Well, it was good to see nothing happened at the inauguration. This is our new president, Joseph Biden. Hopefully, he does a good job and he keeps the American people's interests at heart. We have to give him a chance. I know a lot of you people wanted Donald Trump to be in office, um, but, it didn't happen. And now we have a new president, and we at least have to give him a chance to prove himself to the American people that he actually cares about us. And he's not going to destroy our country, he's going to make it stronger. I think that's what Donald Trump was all about, that he just wanted to make America great again. It is our country. I want to talk to you guys about protesting, though. What happened at the Capitol was wrong. No violence should occur. There's other ways to peacefully protest. You can boycott companies, boycott countries, their goods coming in. You don't have to buy them. There's other ways to do this. Violence is the last resort, believe me. And some of the other things that you got to think about, the American people are pawns in this whole game. If you can tell, because, they're rolling things, they're making our lives miserable, and they don't care. So, another way for us to peacefully protest is by voting. I know that everybody's questioning the free and fair elections we're supposed to have in 2020. Hopefully, we'll get to the bottom of it and prove that there was some legitimacy behind the Biden campaign. Then everybody can shut up about the voting crap. But I don't see why they wouldn't allow people to come in and look at voting machines and materials if there wasn't anything to hide. If you have nothing to hide, then prove it, show it. But unfortunately, there was a lot of cases that we witnessed on TV, statements from people. It just doesn't add up. And I don't know why the investigators didn't bother to investigate. But, when they breached the Capitol, they surely got a lot of arrests so far. What, like 300 people? But they couldn't find one person for voter fraud? Really? That's kind of crazy. And we're listening to people come on TV. James Comey. Who wants to listen to James Comey? I mean, wasn't that the guy who was in charge of the FBI when the bad FISA warrants came in? And it was all declassified recently? And then the whole pay to play scandals and all that other crap. That's what the American people are tired of. They're tired of the corruption and the wasting of our tax dollars. We're in the whole $31 trillion. It's surely not because of the American people. So we need to stop and figure out what we can do about getting that deficit back to zero and making our country great again. Now we started to. Hopefully, Joseph Biden will continue to roll forward for the American people. And maybe our country would be united. But for so long, we're tired of the corruption and the scandals, and nobody ever gets in trouble for it. Or when they threaten chief justices, or there's just been a lot of incidences over the last year of people making threats. Maxine Waters getting their faces, attack them. I can go back to 2010. They've called for violence so many times against Republicans, and I just don't understand why they're using the American people for their political battle. Take your gloves off, go in the ring, spar a few rounds, and then go have a beer later or something. We're Americans. We've built this country on the backbone of being American and working hard. We're not going to let that go. We cannot lose our country. We cannot be under rule from another country. Why would you want to give up that? We can't let China come invade us. That's what they want to do. They want to take over the world. I thought we were supposed to be the last defense against all that's not democracy. So I just think, it's not fair to the American people. We've been through a lot this year. Nobody's saying, we know it's hard that you've been locked down. No. All they do is they bash us every chance they get. The media, too, bash us, saying that we're terrorists and everything because of who we voted for. I mean, that's censorship right there. And big tech started the ball rolling, but it's not going to work in America. People are used to freedom, and people are coming in all the time. And socialism and not owning stuff, it's just going to destroy the economy. There'll be no tax dollars coming in. It's not a good plan. It's not a good plan. I agree that there's a huge inequality for pay, but that goes in every race. It's the low class, the middle class, and the rich. There's no black and white in the middle class. There's no black and white in the poor class. And I'm sure there's no black and white in the rich class because everybody's money spends the same. And we all have red blood inside us. So we need to really find some common ground and start building on that. Or we're going to lose our country. And violence against one another, that's not the answer. If you don't like something, there's other ways to go about changing it. Voting is one. Educate yourself is two. The third thing that you can do, like I said before, is boycotting. You could boycott whatever you like. You don't have to smash buildings and set things on fire, even though there's a lot of that going on right now. And it's not Trump supporters. But I don't hear anybody on TV labeling these people terrorists. I don't even see them doing anything. There's no arrests being made, nothing. So I guess there's no laws anymore. Is that how we're supposed to look at it? Or the laws only apply to the people below everyone else? The lower class people, middle class people. They're all career politicians. They all got rich going to Washington. So if you want to know about inequality, it's right there. How many millionaires do you think are running this country? I guarantee if you look at all those people in Congress, in the Senate, and the House of Representatives, most of them are making at least $1 million or have $1 million in the bank or worth $1 million. Most of us only dream of having that kind of money. But if you go back and look, you start out, when did Nancy Pelosi become rich? Did she have money before the visa incident that everybody's talking about? I don't think she did. I'm not going to pick apart people's finances, but this country got out of control a long time ago. Government is way too big. We don't need 18 security agencies. We really don't. I mean, Homeland Security and the FBI, the CIA, the NSA. What do you need all these security forces for? Against your own people? That's the only people I've been seeing targeted is the American people. And I'm really tired of everybody's saying about race, race, race. You never hear about race when nothing's going on. But they're using the race card for politics and everything else. I mean, please. I don't think the African Americans in our country want to be used as a pawn in a chess game. I really don't. They have brains of their own. They're smart people. They know what they're doing. So, I mean, you're just insulting them. They've been insulted enough as far as I'm concerned. My family didn't migrate here till 1925. So, like a lot of people in America, they had nothing to do with slavery. I would never do that to another human being. But, there's a lot of people running our country that are into some bad things. We got to weed them out. We got to vote them out. Don't go to the Capitol with a gun. Don't do any of that. Violence is not the answer. It's the only thing I can say. I wish all of us the best. I hope the president does a great job. I mean, we all have to pray at this point because the unstable world that, China is trying to rule the world. And it's just the same old stuff. And there's always going to be tyrants coming up and down. But I thought that's what America was for. When them tyrants popped up, we were there, last line of defense. That's what it is to be American. We help one another and we help others. And hopefully our country can get back to that. There's too much anger and there's too much political division in this country. And we need to change that. It's worse than racism. And racism is bad. So we got to realize what it really means to be American. And we got to realize those that are American citizens are our brothers and our sisters. Because when the hurricanes hit and the storms hit and people are in desperate need and they lose their houses, it's your neighbors and your friends who come to your help. And strangers too. We got to get that pride back of what it is to be American. And we got to weed out those people who want to see America destroyed. Because there are some people that hate America. So, at this point, we can only pray for the best for our country until the 2022 election cycle comes up. And I firmly and strongly suggest that we start limiting these terms for people. They shouldn't be in office for 50 years. If it's their passion, then they can get involved, but they shouldn't be in an elected position for more than 1 or 2 terms. Let somebody else in there, get some fresh ideas, keep rotating the people in and out of Washington so nobody gets comfortable and nobody scams. And we got to stop making Washington, D.C. a place for people to get rich. And that's all I got. Like I said, I'm praying for this country.